This past week was the one-year anniversary of the so-called stimulus bill, $862 billion, every dime of it borrowed from the future and from our grandchildren. We were told when that bill was rushed through the House with almost no time to study it, we were promised as a country it would jumpstart the economy, stabilize unemployment, and it would restore consumer confidence. The fact of the matter is that we've lost 4 million jobs since the stimulus was passed. Unemployment has risen dramatically, continues to hover around 10%, and only 6% of Americans in the latest poll believe that the stimulus actually created jobs in America. Most of them feel that that extra debt has actually hampered the economy. 6%. And by comparison, I should say 7% of Americans still believe Elvis is alive. So you sort of know what range this credibility has for the stimulus. The fact of the matter is that that stimulus wasn't designed to create jobs. It was designed to bail out government workers at the state and local level. And the truth is, if you are a government worker or belong to a teachers union, you probably got a pay raise from the stimulus. If you worked in construction or manufacturing, you probably got a pink slip. The fact of the matter is, government's grown since the stimulus was passed, but jobs in the private sector and small businesses and medium-sized businesses are disappearing and continue to disappear. And that's because it wasn't designed to create small business jobs. In fact, more money in stimulus was set aside to buy public art in America than to help small businesses create jobs. And it shows. And too much of it was wasted. Too much of it was exaggerated claims where the White House announced jobs created in fake congressional districts. You heard about some of the waste and the fraud and abuse in the stimulus, the $3 million turtle crossing in Florida, $50,000 hand puppet grant in one of our states, the $4 million bike trail to a Taco Bell in Massachusetts. I love Taco Bell, by the way. That's not how our tax dollars should be spent. The $390,000, I'll end with this one, but this is one of those too hard to believe. $390,000 of your tax dollars was spent at the University of New York in Buffalo in a study to compare the relationship between drinking malt liquor beer and smoking marijuana. So American taxpayers have given to 100 people for 3 weeks $45 a day to do what? Drink malt liquor beer and smoke marijuana, according to published reports. Those types of abuses are spread, unfortunately, throughout the stimulus. One of the reasons there is no public confidence in it. And today they're looking at a second stimulus they call the jobs bill, but it's much like the first one, just smaller. And over the district work period, I met with small, medium-sized businesses in Orange and Lumberton and Lake Conroe and the Woodlands and asked them what they would do to create jobs. And they turned thumbs down on all this new stimulus spending. What they said is the government is in the way. In Orange County at our round table, Keith Wallace, who owns a dry cleaners there and is on the port commission, said we need to get rid of the fear of higher health care mandates and taxes, the fear of cap and trade, the fear of new tax increases. Marjorie Claybar, who runs a cafe in Orange County, said we need certainty from our government. We need certainty. Sue Cleveland from over in Lumberton, Hardin County, said there's so much fear about what's going to happen in Congress with all these tax increases, health care, and cap and trade. And Lori from State Farm said people are simply too scared to invest. And the truth is that is it. Businesses not willing to risk their hard-earned capital. They're not going to bring back workers that they had to let go. They're not going to hire new ones or make that expansion plan as long as government continues a job-killing agenda in Washington, proposes a job-killing budget, with the president's budget, in my estimation, kills more jobs than any business, any budget in American history. New tax increases on small businesses, on energy companies, on local real estate companies, on families, on professionals, all across the board. U.S. companies that compete overseas, all of those kill jobs in America. And the truth of the matter is, we're not going to get out of this recession by government spending. Private enterprise, when those small businesses, those medium-sized businesses start hiring again, that's what sustains an economic recovery in America. America hates being in a recession. They hate even more being in a depression. They are naturally prone to pull themselves out, but now the government is clearly the obstacle in the way of it. And as we see this president and Congress pursue more extreme agenda, a bigger health care bill, the president actually announced a bigger health care bill than the Senate one. More spending, more subsidies, more tax increases. They are not listening to the American public. They're not listening to our small business community, and we are in trouble. It is time to get back on track. I yield back.